So good evening, everyone. Again, my name is Matt Smith, and I'm a senior organizer with Food and Water Watch in New Jersey. And Dave, made a really strong case as to why we need to be taking climate action right now. And a big piece of climate action means the increased development of renewable sources. We all know we're in a ecological crisis. We know that if climate change goes on unchecked, we're going to see more extreme weather, more droughts, more food shortages, more sickness, more public health crises, and loss of coastal areas. All of this threatens the very fabric of the society that we live in and enjoy. So the gravity and the urgency of climate action cannot be underestimated. And in addition to addressing climate change, transforming our energy system to one that's powered by clean renewables would also give urgent relief to frontline impacted communities. These are communities who have lived near power plants, who have lived near refineries, who live near the polluting, toxic infrastructure that we currently depend on. They are people like the children of Newark, New Jersey, which leads the nation in childhood asthma rates. These are kids who, before they even have a chance to get started in life, are already being handicapped by lung disease. And so, for so many reasons, those and so many more, we need to begin this transition. And right now, we lack national leadership on climate. In fact, it's beyond lacking national leadership. We saw with President Trump pulling us out of the Paris Climate Agreement, exactly what we're up against with the current administration in terms of blocking meaningful climate action. And so at the same time, by pulling the U.S. out of the Paris Climate Accord, it has rekindled and sparked a real new movement of local and state elected officials all over the country who are pledging to commit their cities, commit their states to keep us on track to the 1.5 degrees Celsius threshold that was established in Paris. It's important to note, too, because fossil fuel supporters and climate change deniers often cite that we don't yet have the capacity to transition to renewable energies, and that we lack the science or technology or funding, and that is patently false. We see countries all over the world, countries like Germany, Norway, Denmark, even countries like China and Brazil, moving more and more quickly onto renewables. In fact, just last summer, Germany ran their entire economy for a period of time off of renewable energy. So they're not quite to 100% renewables, but they're quickly moving in that direction. Even in the central United States, where we've had some significant wind development, they were able to power 50% of their electricity needs from onshore wind energy just last year. So we're seeing a lot of positive, hopeful signs. What we currently lack is the political will. We need elected officials at all levels of government, local, county, state, and federal, to be the climate leaders that we need to see our country through this crisis. And there's much that New Jersey can do. We have vast offshore wind resources. We have vast solar capacity and potential. In order to really harness those and lock those, we need to mandate that the polluting energy facilities today establish benchmarks to bring down their greenhouse gas emissions, bring down their pollution on a timetable that's compatible with what the climate scientists are, and the global scientific community, as well as national leaders of countries and the security, national security of this own country, of our own country, say that we need to do. So we can get there. What we need is the political will. Some of the things that New Jersey can do right now is use the renewable portfolio standards, which require utilities to source a percentage of their energy from renewable sources. And by setting an aggressive timetable to source more and more energy from renewable sources, not only will we benefit from the clean energy jobs and the decrease in public health costs that are associated with our current dirty energy system, but we will create a massive amount of new jobs in the state, jobs that cannot be outsourced. These would be good unionized jobs. Energy efficiency is also a very low-hanging fruit opportunity. It's estimated that up to 30% of our electricity consumption could be reduced just by installing state-of-the-art technology with the smart grid. And that's not to mention the benefits of retrograding our homes, our businesses, our schools, and our built facilities. So energy efficiency is another example of a tremendous job creator. We're talking about tens of thousands of jobs in New Jersey, potentially more than that if we got really serious about it. And those are jobs, again, that cannot be outsourced. When we talk about the transition to clean energy, there's a couple of other principles that elected officials must keep in mind. First of all is that as we transition away from the polluting sources of the past, we must make sure that all communities can benefit from the development of clean renewables. So communities that, like low-income communities or communities of color, must be meaningfully consulted in the process and given equal opportunity to participate in the job creation that the renewable and clean energy revolution promises. We must make sure that energy affordability is prioritized in low-income communities as we're transitioning to clean renewable sources. We can do things like community solar. It's estimated that only about 30% of homes in New Jersey are suitable for solar panels on their homes. But there's a way around that where municipalities can develop their own solar farms using the top of buildings, schools, parking lots, and then give their residents an opportunity to participate in the sourcing of that renewable energy. We can also use things like net metering. Right now, the state of New Jersey has a cap on the amount of energy, renewable energy, that folks with solar panels on their homes can put back into the grid. By removing that cap, we create such a strong incentive for homeowners who not only want to do the right thing by sourcing clean energy, but want to experience the economic benefits that can be harnessed by allowing ratepayers who have solar panels to sell their excess electricity capacity back into the grid. And that could be a win-win for all of us. We must look at what it means to be a just and equitable transition. As we transition to 100% renewable energy, there will be jobs that will be lost in the fossil fuel sector. Those people who work those jobs must not be sacrificed. They must be prioritized in the transition so that anyone who is displaced in the transition to clean energy will be first in line to get job training, job placement, and if need be, economic living assistance in order to see them through the transition so that nobody is left behind as we update and revolutionize the way that our country sources and produces energy. And I think there are lots of other ways. Another really unique way that communities in New Jersey right now can begin is municipalities and counties can actually form cooperatives by where they're starting their own utilities and then going out and using bulk buying agreements to actually harness energy savings for their residents and then be able to make proactive decisions about the kinds of energy they want to source and hopefully look towards renewables as the way of the future. And lastly, utilities must be held accountable to meet renewable portfolio standards. And we must have strong enforcement through planning and reporting requirements. So all of this is well known. We need to get the word out there, though. We need to educate our elected officials, and we need our elected officials to stand up and champion these issues. That's why Food and Water Watch is just recently launched an Off Fossil Fuels Onto the Clean Energy Revolution campaign, which is calling on elected officials of all levels of government to endorse 100% clean energy. And we need that to happen on the timeline that the climate science mandates. So anyone who's interested, whether you're an elected official who wants to endorse that target, whether you're a volunteer who wants to get involved in your community to work to get your elected officials signed on, you can visit offossilfuels.org. And there's a whole source of resources, including networking resources, so you can link up with other people in your community to begin this on the work ground of building climate champions, clean energy champions at the local, county, and state level.